Hi everyone, how's everyone doing here today? I just wanted to say thank you for watching, and today briefly I wanted to talk about feeding the children and the importance of compassion over cruelty. This was based on a recent video that Ben Shapiro from the Daily Wire put out, where his overall claim is that giving free lunches and meals to kids, who are hungry out there, who are living in food insecure homes, is not the ideal solution, that it won't really make the problem go away. His solution is to call Child Protective Services on the parents. And I guess that'll somehow solve the problem. Now, of course, he didn't really have to my knowledge, any data to back that up, so I don't know where he's getting this conclusion from. Because he's a family man himself, so I would think he would, err a little more on the side of compassion, because the problem is a lot worse than I think he knows. Here's the thing I'm hung up on. I actually believe Ben Shapiro is more intelligent than I am, so why he would say something so stupid is beyond me, because even I can see that that's a bad idea. According to some statistics, which I did just some brief research on, it was estimated there was about 6.5 million children, about 8%, that live in households that are food insecure. That was back in around 2016. According to other charities, the numbers vary a little bit, but in 2021, it's estimated 1 in 7 children live in food insecure homes, and this was before the pandemic, before COVID. So according to Ben, we should call Child Protective Services on all those millions of children, and that'll solve the problem, right? I'll tell you what, Ben, here's a scenario for you, and I'll explain it to you in a very simple way so that you can easily understand, okay? Because that video you put is either based on stupidity, cruelty, or a little bit of both, neither of which is good. I realize it's easy for you to think something like that, given that I would imagine what you do, you have a sizable income, and you live pretty comfortably, as well as your family. You take care of them, as you should. Let's say that wasn't the case. Let's say you were just a working person. Let's say you were, a roofer, and you got involved in an accident, and the health care you have isn't all that great and doesn't quite cover everything. Now you're in medical debt. Now you're struggling, okay? You don't have an income. Medical bills are piling up. So buying groceries, especially in this time now with some of the inflation and gas prices that's going on, your house is now considered food insecure. So let's say I was your neighbor living next door to you, and I saw that. Like, I don't have kids, but if I did, imagine they would go to the same school together, and they tell me that they don't see your children eating lunch or breakfast, because of the circumstances you're in. So according to you, instead of trying to be charitable, I should just call Child Protective Services and have them take your children away. You would be okay with that, right? Really? Wonk. Here's the thing, and this is what gets me in Congress, I know you keep saying that, is that we are one of the wealthiest countries in America, supposedly. And yet, to me, this problem is more widespread than a lot of people want to even believe. And I really believe Congress can do a lot more to solve the issue, okay? No, Ben, I wouldn't call Child Protective Services on you. I would actually, I don't know how they do it in schools. Like I said, I don't have kids, but back then you brought money and you paid for lunch. I would give my kids money and say, here, give it to their kids, make sure they get some lunch and breakfast, assuming they serve breakfast in the schools. Or I'd actually go up to you and say, look, I know you're on hard times, not to, here's some money. Feed your children, please, for you. At times, not just holidays, but even on regular days, I would invite you over to my house and say, bring your kids. Tell me what kind of desserts they like. Have them over for dinner. All on me. No strings attached. Yes, even someone, as mean as Ben Shapiro, I would do something like that, okay? My neighbor could be a total MAGA head with Confederate flags, and guess what? I would still give him the money if he was on hard times and his children weren't eating regularly. Yes, I would do that. Why? Because I believe in compassion over cruelty. And that's where Congress comes in. I have to believe that, they can make school lunches more easily and readily available, you know, for families that are in need. Now, I know some are going to scream socialism at me or say, how do we pay for this? Well, just to give you an example, when Trump did his tax breaks, you know, back around 2016 or 17, that caused the deficit to go up. Now, I didn't hear anyone screaming about how we're going to pay for that. What if, for example, we just undid that and say, sorry, all you rich guys, you don't get tax breaks anymore. We're going to feed the kids. We spend a lot of money on the military budget each year. And don't get me wrong, I get the importance of military, taking care of the troops. However, I think we could shave off a little money from there, small percentage, and put it towards child hunger. Some of you politicians that I think are a little overpaid, how about we give you all pay cuts? Just a small amount. Don't worry, you'll have plenty to live on and take care of your families. And put that towards child hunger. I'm not an expert, so these are ideas I'm just throwing around. So if anyone has any suggestions, I'm all ears. But I think we can all agree on the fact that calling Child Protective Services is not the answer. And given the scale of amount of hungry children there are in these food insecure homes, that for them to do that would be overwhelming, not to mention definitely not cost effective. So, and even though I mentioned Trump before, this is not a political thing, okay? It's bipartisan. It's not about what side or who you vote for. It's, do you care? And I'm sure a vast majority of you out there do. So that's why I say, you know, give money to charity. If you have to, write to your congressman and ask him to try and, you know, put more funding towards this. If anyone has any ideas, like I said, I'm all ears. But I'm sure at the same time we can also agree Child Protective Services is not the answer. There's one, it's called Save the Children, that I like to donate to from time to time. I made a donation today, and I'll list some other charities that you can give to. So I encourage you all to chip in a little if you can. And if you really do have neighbors that are in that situation, where their children really are hungry, try and help them out if you can. We need to deal with these problems, okay? These are our children. You know, to some members out there who claim to be pro-life or care so much about the welfare of kids, let your actions speak louder than words, okay? Because this goes way beyond politics, okay? It's not a political situation. It is a humanitarian crisis. And if we all work together, we can help to resolve this. The number of kids that currently in America is way too much. If it was a small fraction of that, I'd say that's too many. If it was only 100 kids or just one single kid, I would say that is one child too many. No children should go hungry. Chip in a little and help them get the lunches and the meals that they need, you know, so they can sustain themselves and live a more happier childhood life. So, anyway, I really hope you understand. Thank you for watching.